my 2 audience members. Can you imagine there being a list where if you aren't gotten to in time or even put on this list, it means life or death? A list so powerful that it controls whether you live or die? Someone is added every 20 minutes to this list, and 20 people die every single day if they aren't added to this list or gotten to in time. I'm no doctor, but I've always been intrigued about our hearts and how to live a healthy life. Heart transplant procedures have come a long way since 1967 when the first one was performed. To understand what it is, what causes heart failure, and when it's time to get a heart transplant. First, let's look at the functions of the heart. Learning about our heart and what it does is extremely important when leading to heart failure. Tanya Lewis, author of Life Science Heart. Our heart is the main organ for our body. It removes carbon dioxide from our body, waste from our body, and supplies nutrients and oxygen to stay active. If no blood or oxygen is sent to our organs or tissues, they die. Our heart pumps blood to our lungs and the rest of our body by organized contractions of 4 main parts: the left, right, ventricle, and aorta. Now that I've explained the importance of our heart, we need to understand causes of heart failure. Things that cause heart failure is the pumping power becomes weakened, which causes pressure in our heart, which increases the pressure in our heart and causes strain. James Berkman, MD. Our heart is a big muscle that pumps blood to the body. And if it isn't as strong as it was before, it lowers the rate of the pressure and the pressure increases. Heart failure doesn't mean our heart's just going to stop working. It's just a common term that doctors use. Once you know your heart isn't in the best shape and all other methods didn't work, it's time to consider a heart transplant. Many things can help with heart failure: eating healthy, working out, ACE inhibitors, and a defibrillator. On December 3rd, 1967, the first heart transplant was performed on Louis Washington. His heart was donated to him from a 25-year-old who died fatally in a car accident. They gave him a drug to suppress his immune system, and he made it through the procedure, but he passed away a couple of weeks later from pneumonia. Heart transplant patients live 5 years longer after finding a heart. The heart transplant isn't the hard part, it's finding a match that's difficult. My research discovered from Erica Roth, writer of Heart Transplant Surgery, patients must meet certain requirements. In conclusion, it's very important to know about our heart and how to maintain a healthy condition. To comprehend how heart transplants work, you must learn what a heart is, its functions, and causes of heart failure, and when it's time to get a heart transplant. It's the most horrible feeling to know that there is a list that means life or death, and if you aren't gotten to in time, or even on top, it just means that, you die. The last thing you want is for someone you love to have to bury them. So it's important to know our heart and its functions, so inform yourself and your loved ones.